Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn joins me now. Senator, welcome.
Good to see you.
Well, you know the House and the Senate very well. You served in the House before your election to the Senate. So where do things stand on trying to get this big, beautiful bill, as President Trump calls it, across the finish line?
Mike, there is agreement that we will pass a bill and we will pass President Trump's agenda. That is where there is agreement. There's also agreement that we will pass the 2017 tax cuts, the Trump tax cuts, and we're going to make them permanent using current policy. And everyone has agreement on that. Now, when you look at some of the other issues or items that people want to add in, that is where you're going to have debate. But Speaker Johnson says they're going to finish this before they go to Memorial Day. The Senate Finance Committee has been hard at work on this, as have the other committees, and I fully believe that we're going to get this bill finished sooner rather than later. And, you know, people continue to doubt the Republican Congress. They doubt the president. But what we know is the American people gave President Donald Trump a mandate on November 5th. We owe it to the American people to make the Trump tax cuts permanent, to deliver that tax relief, because if we don't, it will be the largest tax hike in American history. And that is not what the American people voted for on November 5th.
Is part of the problem with a major piece of legislation that there's something for everyone to like in it, but there's also something that lawmakers may dislike too?
Well, that is where you get to the element of compromise. And not everyone is going to get everything they want. But when you look at the 2017 tax cuts, they worked well for this country. You saw people benefit. It lowered the cost of living. It lowered inflation. It accelerated investment in the country. It accelerated investment in communities and main streets, making that permanent so that people know they can count on it. That is something they're wanting to see. And let's get as much done as we can possibly get done. Let's make certain the American people know they are going to get to keep their tax cuts from 2017. Let's make certain that small business owners know that they are not going to see a tax hike, that they're going to be able to invest in their businesses. And let's make certain that parents know their child tax credit isn't going to be cut in half.
As you know, deficit hawks want to do tax reform, but they're also looking for spending cuts. Is there an opportunity for savings when it comes to Medicaid?
When you look at Medicaid, you want to make certain that beneficiaries are not going to be adversely impacted. The president has said that, and the Republican Senate and Republican House have said that. There will be no cuts to Medicaid. What there is going to be is a review of improper payments, rooting those out, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse. Because every dollar that you save in these programs is a savings for the taxpayer and an assurance to beneficiaries that they're going to get the benefits to which they're entitled and which they're expecting. With Medicare and Social Security, the same thing. There will not be a cut to Social Security benefits or to Medicare benefits, but rooting out the waste, the fraud, the abuse, getting people off the roll when you know that you don't have people 125 years old getting a check, but somebody's getting that check. They are cashing that check. Those individuals need to be prosecuted, and those false payments need to stop so that the money goes to the beneficiaries and people that have paid into Social Security and Medicare all their lives.
Senator, as you know, we just marked the first 100 days of the Trump administration. What has President Trump done in terms of investment there in the great state of Tennessee?
Oh, yes, and I was so pleased to be at the White House with them on Wednesday. And we had Schneider Electric that was there. They've done a $700 million investment. And Mike, I visited that plant out in Mount Juliet, Tennessee yesterday. It is amazing to see the construction, the expansion that is going on there. And we have seen more than 30 companies, 1,200 jobs, $1.2 billion in capital investment in Tennessee since President Trump was elected. It shows you whether it is direct foreign investment or private companies, people want to be a part of the American marketplace. Companies know if they're manufacturing here, then they're not going to be paying tariffs. And so they're knocking on the doors of states that are good for business, and they're taking advantage of the environment that the Trump administration is working to create so that the private sector can create jobs with better wages, advanced manufacturing, technology, and of course energy. So we're looking forward to a very productive year.
Senator, before I let you go, you and Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal sent a letter to Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg this week condemning him after a Wall Street Journal report revealed Meta's AI chatbots have on some occasions had sexually explicit conversations with underage users. Have you gotten a response from him?
We have not gotten a response from him. That is troubling. And part of this is that people that are on the leadership team there with Meta, they know that these chatbots are participating in this sexually explicit activity and conversation with underage children. This is disgusting. It is reprehensible that they know this is taking place, that they're allowing it to take place. They use our children as their product and as a profit center when they're online. This is one of the reasons that Senator Blumenthal and I are working again to get the very bipartisan Kids Online Safety Act across the finish line. It came out of the Senate last year on a 91-3 vote.
Wow.
And the House needs to finish this up. We're going to pass it again. We need them to pass it. We need to get it to the president's desk and put the responsibility on these social media platforms to end this kind of reprehensible activity.
Senator Marsha Blackburn of the great state of Tennessee, thank you so much for your time. See you back in Washington before long.
Good to join you.